It's Madden NFL 22 on EA Sports. And the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the Cowboys and the Vikings. And it comes your way next on EA Sports.
Now we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. It can certainly get loud inside this building, and just a few moments ago when the Vikings were introduced, it was downright shaking in here. They're set for football as the Vikings get ready to do battle with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. CD, you look at the Vikings coming into play, you figure they've got to be looking forward to this one. They've got a clear advantage on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, they totally understand it, not just by running the numbers, but those numbers do play into it because you've got one of the better passing offenses in the league, a top 10 unit, going up against one of the poor defenses in the league. So I think we're going to see these guys take some shots downfield. But right from the start, I expect them to attack and get right after them.
Here's the kicker, Harrison Butker, ready to get this one started. And we are underway from downtown Minneapolis. Taking it about the 1. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further. First look at the Cowboys offense as Dak Prescott gets ready to guide them.
It's been a lot of fun watching him advance in his career. Many people question his ability to throw the football coming out of Mississippi State. He's conclusively answered that question. In addition, a very strong runner and an even better leader.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Now the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. Despite some tough running, he's still wrangled down shy of the 15. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's 2nd down. This defense for the Vikings, they were very strong last week in that win over Cleveland.
Yeah, what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
And the stiff arm made it a pretty little run. Not a huge gain, but a nice chunk of yardage. It'll go down as a gain of 6. And that'll bring up a 3rd down.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game, and you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so. It gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it and really gets them amped up as they go forward.
And boy, he is very close to a 1st down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. Only 2 yards, and it'll be a punt on their opening possession.
Now, we might still get some props here in the booth. You know that one that says the D and then the fence that you put up next to it? How about that? They brought out the jumbo package and still couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage enough to pick up that 1st down.
Impressive. They were ready defensively for that jumbo set. Hunter Nice-Swander on to punt now on 4th down. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. They will be led out by the Heisman Trophy winner from 2018 from Oklahoma, Baker Mayfield.
And he comes to the end of the season leading the NFL in passing yards. And that's not necessarily something you set out to do at the beginning of the year, but it's a good illustration of how remarkable and consistent he's been all season.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Play fake. Mayfield. And complete right side to Cook. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49.
Nice little nifty play for him there. That's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backside of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. And he's got this down to the 35. Good job there to locate his tight end, Charles, in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he has good pass-catching abilities, and if they're able to continue to find him here in the early going, I think it'll help out his teammates out on the perimeter. You can take the big shots later if he occupies their attention.
Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. The first down screen pass, good for 5.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense.
Now Mayfield lost the football, but a Viking was able to corral this one, and Minnesota will keep possession.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
The good news, they kept the ball. Bad news, it's 3rd and long. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. Solid catch there for a man who's been so brilliant this year. Worth pointing out, as we were talking about earlier, there has never in the 60-year history of the award been a pass catcher, tight end or wide receiver, that has taken home the MVP trophy.
And the best receivers I've talked with, they know that stat, and it drives them crazy because they understand that without a quarterback, they don't make the plays that they make. But they also don't feel like they get enough credit for bailing out some of the throws that quarterbacks make.
Absolutely. It takes 2 to tango. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help. And
they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
But he will have the first down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line.
3rd and 1, who are you going to call? Not the scat back. You go with the big man, hand him the ball, and let him get upfield and pick up a first down.
So 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. To throw, Mayfield. Being chased out left. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Baker Mayfield. A 9-yard touchdown run. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. Harrison Butker is on for the extra point. He's got it, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead. That time, a 9-play drive and a 9-yard run on the end of it. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This taken in at the goal line. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. Second drive forthcoming here for the Dallas Cowboys. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their future. As they look ahead to the offseason, what spots do they maybe need to fill?
Well, I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers, because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too.
Got out of the pocket. Didn't look like he had anybody open, Charles, so just gets rid of it.
And a good play by him. If no one's open and you don't have a running lane that you want to take, make the right choice. Get rid of it. Live to fight another down.
Dak dropping this one off for Zeke. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon. And it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
Now Prescott. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch. 7 yards, the pickup there.
Brings up 2nd and 3 at the 46-yard line.
On second down, it's Elliott. He'll get only a couple down to the 44.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D linemen to make the play.
This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though. They'll try and run for it with Elliott. Elliott trying to work his way forward, but it looks like he did not make it. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And the Vikings taking the field here for their second drive of the game. They'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. Means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
They'll roll him out right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
Whenever you see a quarterback break contain, just think to yourself, the receivers on that side of the field, their number 1 job, make sure they get in his sight line so he can try and find someone downfield. Guys on the backside, make sure you don't give up the deep ball. They tried it there. They weren't able to connect.
On 2nd and 10, Mayfield. It's complete to Robinson. Robinson, a first down and then some, as he'll get this one up to the 44-yard line.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Minnesota. It's the Vikings in possession of the football, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. They go play action. Mayfield. He'll buy some time right. They're going for Jefferson downfield. And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. A big play there for Minnesota.
Already over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That catch is just going to add to his total. Certainly not resting on his laurels. He's trying to continue to gain as many yards as possible and continue this big season.
First down, here's the run with Cook. They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
On 2nd and 9, Mayfield. And he's got it. Touchdown. Irv Smith Jr. hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead.
There's not much is perfect in football, but that's about as close to it as you're going to get. Score, force a punt, score again.
And both drives were impressive. The opening drive was, that last one was. Now on the other side, though, what's your psyche? You're really behind the 8 there.
You got to make sure you just hold in there. Survive the early storm, relax a little bit, and try and get back to your game plan. It's way too early for panic.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
3 yards the gain there, second down. A give to Elliott. Ooh, the juke. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with third down now looming.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
2 minutes gone by, second quarter. On third down, Elliott. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
And they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
They'll try to throw now. Prescott. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
And a sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense if that fell harmlessly to the ground. On third down, it's Prescott. And this is going to be incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's fourth down.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far, offensively or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
35 yards that time on the punt, and the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Mayfield off the play fake. Sliding out of the pocket. On the run. He'll let this go deep right side. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Scramble drill there, partner. Some teams have some pretty good rules for it. Others are just saying make sure you work your way back into the sight lines of your quarterback, even if you take the play deep. And that's what they attempted to do on that one, unable to connect.
Play action now. Here's Mayfield. Man open is Robinson. And he gets this one just shy of the 35 to the 34. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
He's obviously a bit of a shorter running back. And sometimes when he goes up the middle like that, he gets lost in there and then he pops out for 10, 20 yards.
I actually asked NFL linebackers if that was true. Do you actually lose sight of some of the smaller running backs? And all of them confirmed that that can be a problem. Think of it this way. Two of the top running backs in NFL history, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, both 5'10".
A big play that time through the air. 32 yards.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
On first down, Cook. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Mayfield on play action. And this ball is caught by Irv Smith. Touchdown Vikings. Irv Smith Jr. with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. So simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time, and they've got the lead.
Well, whenever we talk about adjustments, we usually talk about an offense making adjustments, right? This is all about the defense. They've got to figure out some way, somehow to slow them down. Do they blitz a little bit more? Do they play more zone coverage? Right now, they don't know where to go because they're hitting them in every direction.
And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. Amari Cooper and the Cowboys set to take over once again. With them losing here in the second quarter and his limited productivity so far, you'd have to think they're going to try to look to him a little bit more, right?
I would guess you would start to see maybe some quick screens, some hitches, anything to get the ball in his hands quickly and let him try and do some damage after the catch. Or maybe just flip some formations and keep him isolated where it's more of a one-on-one route and get the ball to him.
I say just 4 verts, right?
Hey, why not? 4 verts. One of the best routes in football. Hard to cover each guy all the way along the route.
So far, just 1 catch for him. On first down, they go back to Vaughn again. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Brandon, we just saw the benefits of being able to run the ball successfully. They pick up 4 yards on that carry. So now, if you're a play caller, you can do just about anything you want. But on the defensive side of the ball, you scramble a little bit. Now you're behind, trying to figure out, do I need to blitz it? Do I need to pressure it? How do I gain an advantage on this snap?
He did an okay job of absorbing the hit, just couldn't secure the football through the catch.
And he was right there on the spot and forcing the incompletion. That's something defenders work on all the time. If you're there, make the contact, but continue to work your way through the receiver. So
that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. It's Cameron Dantzler who picks it. So this is something we didn't see at all from this offense in the victory last week. That's a turnover. They didn't have any, but giving the ball away here in the opening quarter.
I love the surprise in your voice because it's exactly what you stated. Didn't see it last week, but it was a key to their win. And it'll be a key to this game as well, protecting the football. Didn't get it done there.
Baker Mayfield leads the offense out for their next possession. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team. Gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Oh, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
As defensive coordinators around the league tell me all the time, that throw is not for every quarterback because you've really got to drive the ball downfield. It's going to be a tight window for him to fit that one into. In this case, unsuccessfully.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. They're looking for Jefferson, but this is intercepted. Picked off at the 17. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, he's certainly not been afraid to take some chances downfield. Now, look, it's paid off for him a couple of times. That time, not so fortunate.
And that's where I want to start, what you said. It's paid off a couple of times. So his aggressiveness has been good for his offense for the most part. So he throws an interception there. No one likes that, but I would not rein him back in. The return on investment thus far has been pretty good. 2 touchdowns to 1 interception. The touch and time are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Out of the gun, here's Prescott. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. How about this? They'll try the option. Left side. And he'll lose yardage here. Back to the 15. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Out now comes the Cowboys punter, standing just about on his own goal line. Taking it about the 36. A 7-yard return following a punt of 45 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. As the offense comes out, we put our Madden spotlight on Baker Mayfield. He's showing off that arm, showing it off very well. They've got the lead. Don't forget, though, about the protection he's had. The protection's been good.
And I'll guarantee you he hasn't forgotten about it at all, because that's keeping him clean in the pocket, allowing him to step into throws and make those deep passes come true. I mean, it's just been beautiful for him to do. But guess what? In the huddle, on the sidelines, guaranteed he's thanking those big guys up front for keeping him safe. I have a feeling he made him buy dinner.
Indeed, entertaining to relive some of those deep balls. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game.
Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. Touchdown, Vikings. Justin Jefferson with another touchdown, number 24 on the year. And the Vikings are able to add on to their first half lead. Extra point by Butker is on target, and the route is on here in this first half. They certainly made quick work of that, ultra quick work. One of the fastest drives you'll ever see, just one play resulting in the touchdown. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. Amari Cooper and the rest of the offense heading back out there now. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us. But sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now Prescott. They'll set up the screen to Vaughn. And he's able to get up here to the 26. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Prescott on 3rd and 2. Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's 4th down.
That's an excellent job right there on third down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a first down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's fourth down.
We'll call this a 41-yard punt, 7 on the return. And possession will switch hands, first and 10. So good starting field position for them here as they come up first and 10 at their 36-yard line. The Vikings going to take over now late in this first half. Escaping the pressure right. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's second down.
He certainly had a good game throwing the ball so far, but I think he was trying to take that from good to great with that throw, trying to get one downfield.
Throwing again on second and 10. Mayfield eluding the pressure right. They're going for Jefferson downfield. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Justin Jefferson, his 25th touchdown. Tying Emmitt Smith for the 5th most in one season. And the Vikings are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point by Butker is on target, and that makes this 35-0 now. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Taken in at the 3. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. Dak and the Cowboys ready for their next possession. The second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people. Lean on your teammates. Find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
Or this, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line. Final play of the half, Prescott. And that is incomplete. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get you caught up on what's going on around the NFL. We'll get started up at Lincoln Financial Field in Philly. And in the second quarter, it's the Bears who are out in front. A touchdown run for Najee Harris. From there, we'll head to Cincinnati to check on the Bengals at home at Paul Brown Stadium. And they trail the visiting Bills in that ball game at halftime. Devin Singletary, a touchdown run in that first half. With that, let's take a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for the Cowboys. And they will need to get this passing game in gear because they did not do much of anything in that first half. And it's why the scoreline is what it is. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, they were much more successful throwing the football than their counterparts, as you can see the numbers there. Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon. And charge.
The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Called it the 26. And now let's look at the quarterback, Matthew Stafford, in our player spotlight. And he's been effective in their winning, so it makes it a little easier to put a montage together.
It really does, doesn't it? Because we can see him throwing it really well. But how about everything else that's going on? Protection has been excellent. And, of course, the guys catching the ball have provided some highlight reels themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's not always just one man. He's been good, but you got the guys catching the ball, too.
Yeah, you name it. It's all coming together for him. What they call that synergy. Everything working together really well. And right now, he's the focal point of it.
From the 50, Stafford. And that'll be incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes. But the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. Here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that first. Back to Nwangu again on first down. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Now a play fake, and he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. They push him back 8 yards that time on. Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. He's going to fire one deep over the middle and unable to connect. Now the Vikings will send out the special teams crew here for a field goal try. It'll be spotted on the right hash, a 52-yard attempt. Butker's kick here is good. And they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. So after 5 touchdowns offensively, hey, maybe it's time. After the field goal, here's Butker to kick it away. Taken in at the 3. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the second half. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. On play action, Prescott. Got an open man. It's Michael Gallup. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. And that throw behind his man. He missed him. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. Prescott from the gun. Looking sideline, incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
Prescott from the gun on 3rd. And now another one thrown incomplete.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target in the second half.
Yeah, it should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. I'm kind of surprised by that they kicked the field goal. I guess you get some points, but this deficit 3rd quarter, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. When you're down that much, kicking a field goal, does it feel a little bit maybe waving the white flag and just want to get out of here? Yeah, I think you got to go ahead and try and get some bigger points on the board.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Off of play action, here's Stafford. He finds his man, complete. It's Dawson. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Play action, Stafford. He finds his man, complete. That's Dawson. 7 yards, the pickup there. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
On 2nd down, here's Nwangu. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. He's able to get to the 2nd level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. They'll fake it. Now Stafford. They'll check that down to Nwangu out of the backfield.
Well, they've certainly done a nice job spreading the ball around on this drive. This time he gets it out to his back, and it's another nice play and another first down. They've got the defense on their heels a little bit. They're reacting instead of being aggressive and making plays.
Touchdown, Vikings! A great play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings have taken a 6-touchdown lead. Extra point by Butker is on target, and that will extend this big lead. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. From the 6. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. Now the Cowboys offense heads back onto the field. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. To throw is Prescott. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Well, you got to think that sooner or later they're going to hit one of those, but the coverage has been excellent thus far, and it was again on the last play.
And he gets it to the 32, good enough for a first down. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
They run on first down as they're able to get this forward for about 4.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
A couple of first downs, has the football positioned at the 43 as they come up 1st and 10. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. 1 quarter remains here as the regular season starts to wind down. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The throw over the middle, taken in, and taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40.
Well, this game is certainly pretty well over. They can go ahead and mark it in the win column, but as a defense, they don't want to get so soft now that everybody just throws the ball all over the place against them, gets big yardage, and puts points on the board. They have pride, too, on that side of the ball.
Meanwhile, Dak's throw there caught by Gallup. And he gets it down a yard or 2 shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Here's Prescott. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Prescott yet again. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. Daniil Hunter. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop it.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? Best teams we've seen so far this year.
The ball comes out, but this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same. Looking at it from the defense's perspective, they could have really used the football to try to start eating into this deficit.
Yeah, because now possession's so crucial at this stage of the game. And when you've got an opportunity to hop on a turnover and you don't get it, you can feel the frustration all the way up here.
And the offense, they're living right now. Another bounce and break that goes their way. And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
Trayvon Diggs getting the tackle.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. Looking left side, and he's got him in. That's Sims. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out.
I have to tell you, just one word keeps coming to mind from watching them this afternoon, and that's impressive. They have been impressive from the opening kickoff, and they haven't let up here even into the fourth quarter.
That's going to be caught. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great effort there. His second touchdown of the game, his third on the year. And the Vikings extend this fourth quarter lead, and they are getting closer and closer to win number 11. Extra point by Butker is on target, and the lead will swell by one more. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. So out come the Cowboys now as their offense gets set to take over. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big and he fires one that's intercepted. Picked by Jeff Gladney. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and...
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on first down on the sack. To try again after the sack. Stafford. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 23. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. Now they get a fourth quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10. Prescott to throw it. Throw left side complete. That's Vaughn. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. So they'll wind up losing 5 yards on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Here's Prescott. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete. Certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down. Another pass attempt, another incompletion. You figure defensively, you're in the 4th quarter here. You've held the team under 100 yards passing. You've done your job.
Especially in today's NFL, which is truly a pass-first league.
We'll call that a 41-yard punt. The net a little greater, though, following a loss on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. They'll start on the ground here with Nwangu. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Up at the 29 now, they'll head to the line. 2nd and a yard. Another run now for Nwangu. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I'll bet the offensive linemen said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here. 1st and 10. Now this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The last run got 9. That leaves them with 2nd and a yard. On the give, this is their fullback.
Let's face it, you always want a team full of guys who can get you first downs and big plays of all styles, but you've got to have a big man. You can just turn and hand it to, and he can be dependable in picking up first downs.
2 first downs have him up to the 41 now for 1st and 10. Now a give, running left is Nwangu. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one is going to come to an end. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Why are they clicking on offense?
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling they're moving the ball, things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
As an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Minnesota, the win here in Week 18 gives them a pivotal 11th win on the year, running their final mark to 11-6. And now they'll await the final seeding for the playoffs ahead. Meanwhile, for the Cowboys, it's been a sinking ship all season, to be frank, as they finally draw the curtain on what will be a 2-15 year. And you have to figure that this is a team that will look a whole lot different come training camp next July.